Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Cervena Fox and today I am going to be doing a makeup tutorial using lots of new Urban Decay makeup. I'm so excited about using this because this is one of my dear friend KRISTEN LEANNE's new range. So I'm going to be using a few colors from this palette and then also my favorite, the Heat palette from Urban Decay. So yeah, this evening I'm going to be using a lot of my favorite products. I have Kat Von D, Jeffree Star, KRISTEN LEANNE, Urban Decay, Benefit. I have so many different favorite makeup brands. So today I'm going to show you them all, creating this look on my face. So first of all, we are going to be using the Dip Brow Pomade from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and this is the dark brown. So I always start with the bottom part of my eyebrow first, then I go onto the top to create the arch to then go all the way to the end of my eyebrow. I always make sure that I go around to make the shape of my eyebrow first before I start filling it in. But you always have to make sure that you do not fill it in at the front of your eyebrow, otherwise you're going to completely and utterly make your eyebrow look too shaped and you want it to look a little bit natural at the front. So make sure that after you've put all the pomade through the eyebrow, you use the only excess part left on the brush just to push it forward, but always make sure you do not close the front of the eyebrow. Now that you have one eyebrow done, you now have to try to do the other side of the eyebrow exactly the same, but you know, what they say in the makeup world is your eyebrows aren't going to be twins, so just make them at least sisters. We can't have it going on where they look like distant cousins. So sisters are the way forward, twins, that's hard to get. Good luck. I always find it really hard. But with a lot of practice, you guys got this. And if they manage to be sisters, give yourself a pat on the back because that's a really hard thing to do. You got this. Good eyebrows mean good day. The next product we're going to use is from Urban Decay and it is the Weightless Concealer. Now I pop this underneath my eyebrow to make my eyebrows a little bit more sharper. So I put the Weightless Concealer across both eyes because it is a very, very light concealer. So you can just smother it all over. There are some concealers that you can't do this with, but this Urban Decay one, you definitely can do this. I use a flat brush and I go along the underneath of my eyebrow only and push it down towards my eye. This will make your eyebrow look a lot more sharper, and then using a fluffy brush, I just blend the concealer into the rest of my skin. Now onto the eyeshadow. I am going to be using the color Brixton from the new KRISTEN LEANNE Urban Decay palette. I'm going to apply this color in the corners of my eyes because I really like using a white based eyeshadow just in the corner because I feel like it really brings out my eyes. Next we're going to use one of my new favorite palettes, which is the Naked Urban Decay Heat palette. So the first color we're going to use is called Chaser. I really love this color because it's a really good background color to use before you start adding all those really deep colors on top. And this is a really good palette because I feel like all the eyeshadows are very buttery and it's very nice and it just blends so well. So I use this color with a really fluffy brush just all over my eye, around the crease, just to really make sure there's a nice background color before I start adding any other deeper colors around it. Now the next color we're going to use is called Sourced. This one I just make sure I get right into the corner of my eyes with the same fluffy brush just to make sure it's going to make my crease look a little bit more defined. Now we're going to move on to the really deep reds of this palette. It is called He Devil and this is a really, really, really nice deep red color. Using a really nice flat brush, I go into the crease of my eye and just go about halfway to where my pupils would be if I was looking forward, just so you don't overdo it. And you want to just make sure that you bring that dark red just a little bit to the front of the eye, but making sure that you don't take any more pigment and all it is the excess left on that one brush you started off with. Going back to the original really fluffy brush, I then just blend all those three colors together. Going back to the KRISTEN LEANNE Urban Decay palette, we are going to be using the color Corona. Using a really stubby eyeshadow brush, I really blend it into the eye because I really want to make sure it really stays on the top of my eyelid for as long as possible. As it is a metallic, you really need to buff it in there. So the next color I'm going to use from the KRISTEN LEANNE palette is the really dark orange. Now I'm going to put that in the crease and bring it a little bit round, but try to get most of the pigment in the corner of your eyelid. Once you've put the pigment on both the eyes, use a really fluffy brush and blend it into the rest of the eyeshadow that you already have on your eyelid. Don't worry about going past your eye line, just get that eyeshadow in there and really, really blend it in. Because the next step is you're going to get that pigment, the same orange, and you're going to get a thinner brush and you're going to put it underneath your eyelashes, just underneath of your eye on both sides. I have really fallen in love with the NYX, also known as NYX Matte Liquid Liner. Now this is something that I've definitely realized is a great product because it goes over everything. You can use it with glitter, you can use it over any kind of metallic eyeshadow. It is just so jet black, I love it, and it's actually quite cheap, so this is definitely one product I really recommend for everyone to use. With the eyeliner, I always start from the center of the eye and pull it out, and then I kind of just use the flick to go up the eye and then reverse it when I get to the end to kind of pull it back onto the eye to get that really nice cat eye look. But you have to make sure that they both look exactly the same, so double check this twice, 3 times over to make sure both sides look exactly the same. Now moving on to one of my favorite part of the look is the eyelashes. I use the glue duo generally because I feel like my eyes get super irritated by so much stuff, and this is definitely one thing I don't get an irritation from. Apply a thin layer onto the eyelash, but always make sure you give it about 30 seconds, maybe a minute before you apply it on. Start with the inside of the eye, then add it onto the corner, pushing very gently. And using both fingers, what I do is I hold onto the end of the eyelash and push. Never hold onto the glue part, otherwise the eyelash will come off. And once you've done one side, just repeat it and do it to the other side. Now this does take time. It used to take me 40 minutes to put one eyelash on. Now I can do it within seconds. So just keep on practicing and you guys will be able to do it as quick as I can. So the eyelashes I'm using here are the 100% Mink 5-pair natural thick false eyelashes from an eBay store. So if you just put that part in the search bar, they should come up. But they are really, really nice ones, and I think they were literally only $1 each. So it's complete steal, and they are completely my favorite. I bought about 50 pairs of them because I really, really love this style on my eyelids. So this is a new product for me, but this is the Bad Girl Bang by Benefit Cosmetic Mascara. So this is my first time using it, and I have to say, wow, completely wow. This product really makes my eyelashes so long, separates them, and it doesn't make my eyes go funny at all, because sometimes I really struggle with mascaras. It makes my eyes itchy, or it just feels too clumpy, but this is really a good mascara for anyone that has sensitive eyes. So now that the eyes are done, we are going to be using the Hydra Blur Primer from Dermalogica. So I'm just going to squeeze it from the bottle onto my face, just evenly putting it out. And instead of using a brush, I am going to be using my finger just to kind of push it and buff it into my face. This Dermalogica primer is actually really nice. It has a very, very nice texture to it, almost shea butter-like. So when I'm pushing it into my face, you can really feel all the pigment go into the pores, and it's very nice because it's weightless, but also makes it so your face just even looks smooth without even putting any kind of foundation on, just with using this one product. So when I first used this, I realized that actually this is going to be the best primer to use because it made my skin look great before I had even put any kind of foundation on top. So my go-to foundation is definitely the Revlon Color Stay number 200. Using a damp makeup sponge, I just pour the foundation onto the sponge itself, and then I just evenly push it into my skin across my whole face. And really, the great thing about using a nice wet sponge is it also makes it look completely and utterly buffed in. Using a brush sometimes makes it look like you're painted, but using a nice damp sponge really will make it look so nice and flat on your face. Now we're about to use the holy grail of all concealers in the industry, and this is Shape Tape by Tarte. So I apply this just underneath the eye, down the center of my nose, and in my cupid's bow. And using a concealer brush, go down your nose, down your cupid's bow, and across your eyes, just really blending it in there, but be a little bit conscious with not putting it too far around the sides of your nose, too far up on your forehead, and not too far down onto your cheekbone, because we are going to start contouring those areas, and we want to make sure that they are kept dark so then the light areas pop out more. Then just grab the same sponge you used before just to blend them in together so it looks nice and smooth on your face. Now for the setting spray, I like using the Laura Mercier setting powder. This is the translucent one, but I just go straight in with a really nice fluffy brush Don't forget to hit off the excess, which can be quite a lot, so be very, very careful. And I just evenly pop it all across my face. I don't like to put too much powder on, especially under my eyes, because it does sometimes make it look a little wrinkled. But this one is quite a loose one, and it's just really, really nice. So I definitely recommend this if you like something a lot less heavy than other brands. Moving on to the blush, I like using the Hoola one from Benefit. This is a really nice, cool color. It's not at all too warm for the face. So for someone like me who I don't really tan a lot, it's the perfect shade. So I always bash off the excess. I go along my cheekbones, underneath my jawline, down the sides of my nose, and sometimes around the hairline, but for me sometimes I miss that area depending on what I'm doing that day. If it's for a photo shoot, then yes, I go along the hairline, but for an everyday look, I just really do the jawline, my cheeks, and then I do down the sides of my nose. So when I'm contouring down the sides of my nose, I squeeze the brush like so, just to go down the sides of my nose, or I'll use another brush, something quite thin, but something can also buff afterwards, because we don't want two direct lines either side of the nose. It just looks too fake. So I definitely like to just go down the sides, and then I kind of buff it in, just to kind of blend it in that little bit more, because I don't like it being too obvious on my face. So now moving on to my favorite part of the makeup, which is the highlighting. I love, love, love using the Jeffree Star Ice Cold Highlighter. It just beams everything. So this one, I go down the center of my nose, I go along the top of my cheek, and I really like to buff in. I also make sure you always go up above the eyebrow just a tiny little bit. Also, please do not forget the Cupid's bow, because when you put on your lipstick afterwards, it just looks so good. And don't forget to do underneath your eyebrows as well, because we want the cheekbone glowing, we want the nose, the Cupid, and just above your eye. So my lipstick choice for this look is the Double Dare by Kat Von D. This is my go-to lipstick. I use this every single day. This was even the one that I used on my wedding day. I absolutely love this shade. It just goes so well with my skin tone, my hair, and everything. But with this one, you do not need a lip liner. It's definitely one that you just go straight in there. But it does take me probably about 5 to 10 minutes to do my lips. I always start with the bottom one. I go along the edge first, along the bottom, and then I start going on to my top lip. But I always overline. That's just something I've always done. I absolutely love overlining my lips. I mean, going on my lip line does still look good, but girl, it's 2018 now. It's all about overlining your lips. So that's one thing I can definitely do. And there we are, this is the final look. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this. I will be having more tattoo videos, more performance videos. I'm gonna be doing so much more on YouTube, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe and like this channel.